Well, greetings, everybody. My name is Kevin Rudd. I'm President and CEO of the Asia Society. This is our original content series entitled Asian Americans Building America. We're speaking with a vast number of people from different backgrounds right across the United States who have come to this country from various parts of Asia and are building this country through their lives and through their work and through their broader contributions. Today, we're joined by Rona Popal, Executive Director of the Afghan Coalition in Fremont in California. Rona, welcome to our program.
Thank you so much for giving me the time.
Now, Rona, tell us about your background. When did you come to the United States? How long have you been with us? Our audience would be interested to hear.
I came to the United States on September 1977. We went to New York. My husband was working as an Afghanistan representative to the United Nations.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good. And you found your way to Fremont in California. I understand it's a city with a pretty large Afghan community. Am I right?
Yes, yes. When we were in New York after my husband resigned from the communist government, we had no choice. We have to leave. New York was so expensive for us. So it was California, the one place that our friends recommended that you can go there and the rent is cheap and you can, and education is cheap and also free. So this is why I moved to California.
So you followed a long tradition of American migrants, as it were, and others. Basically, go west, young man, or go west, young woman. Is that right? So
yes.
That's good. So you've been in Fremont for the last 40 years? Is that right?
40 years. Yes.
That's impressive. You're frustrated and angry with what you've seen in Afghanistan and in the United States right now. Tell us more about that and how we can bridge the two countries, the two cultures.
Well, Kevin, as you know, the United States went to Afghanistan in 2001, and they really want to get rid of the Taliban. And they were sure very much they want to get rid of these terrorists because they are threatened for everybody in the United States and around the world. So we were very happy by United States come and had a fighting with Taliban, and we were very happy. And after a Bonn conference, the United States and around the international community decided to bring a democratic government to Afghanistan. So it was at a time everybody was very happy and excited to see Afghanistan rebuilt again, to see Afghanistan as bringing a democratic and make a new constitution for the Afghan people. But unfortunately, for the past 40 years, there are some, happen in Afghanistan that, for example, the constitution made some, schools are open, but really what happened, but still there was a war going on. Still there was a killing and suicide bomber. Every day there is hundreds of Afghan around Afghanistan was being killed. It was a question for all of us as an Afghan. Hey, what's going on? The whole world is there. And can they stop these terrorists in Afghanistan? This is what a question for the last 20 years. That, why and what's happening? What is the plan? Really, as you know, Afghanistan, they had a plan before. They call it Great Games. This is how they did it. This is how they divided that region during the 1990s. The international community divided Afghanistan in two places and divided, India, Pakistan. So it was really for us. We knew it. This is another game started. Another game started from Afghanistan.
When you look at the recent history of Afghanistan, we've had about 3 waves of Afghan migration to the United States, one of which you're part, which is following the Soviet invasion, or around about the time of the Soviet invasion in '79. And if you like, immediately prior to that, with the installation of the communist government in Kabul. Second wave, of course, was after during the period of the Taliban themselves. And the third, of course, was after the invasion of 2001. Well, should I say, after the US-led military action in response to the resolutions of the United Nations Security Council. So what has been the cumulative experience of Afghan Americans in this, in the aftermath of these three waves of arrival in the United States?
Yes, unfortunately, we always thought we are the first wave of refugees here in the United States. We always thought we're going to go back, and we're going to go back, build our country and help our people. But unfortunately, after so many years, we have seen that all these plans or all these decisions are made on behalf of Afghan people. It was not okay. It was, they gave all the power and all the government institution in the hands of warlords, you know, one after another. Unfortunately, this is what we are thinking as a first wave of Afghan refugees in the United States. These are the people are more educated, more professional, technocrats, those time when they left Afghanistan during the Soviet invasion. So they are really, really closely watching Afghanistan, closely seeing every day. We are watching our Afghanistan television through satellites, international satellites, so we can know what's going on, how we're going to do it. But unfortunately, there was a time we get happy, there was a time we are sad to see that still Afghan people are being killed, still to see there is no justice. There are the times that the United States official came and we told them there's not gonna be any peace until you bring justice. Justice for those people who lost, every day they are losing their children and families in Afghanistan.
What about the responsibility now of the Afghan community in the United States to support those who are seeking to come to the US from Afghanistan, given the Taliban's return to power in Kabul?
I wish they never had this chance to come to the United States. These are the people leaving their whole life, their house, their shelter, their families, to come because they are afraid of their lives. When I heard the day, it was August 22nd or something, when we see that all these Afghanistan, each, the cities are giving up, each one after another, without any shot being fired. And it was absolutely shock for all of us to see what's going on. It was.
There must be people, though, who want to come out of the country now. Your community, will it be extending solidarity towards Afghans who wish to come to the United States?
They are, of course, for us to see them if their lives in danger. Of course, they're okay to come. But I wish there was the situation, a change in another way. I wish there was United States made a good decision to bring somebody on the power so it will be okay by everyone in Afghanistan, not Taliban. Somebody who killed every day the children, the people, the young people, not to bring somebody as we know them as a terrorist group. We know them and we saw them in 1996, what they did to the people, how they treated the woman, how they treated each one of those Afghan citizens. And this is how we're really afraid. And it was the chaos because of that, because the people knew what they're gonna do to them.
Tell me, Rona, in your own experience in the United States as an Afghan American, have you ever experienced racial stereotypes, racial prejudice? Have you had to deal with that sort of racism personally or professionally in the US?
Well, if I tell you the truth, I was one of the most lucky one that I had the chance to come in the United States. And I educated. I'm very thankful. I studied my college and university here. I'm really thankful to see I raise the children without any fear, without. And also, I was really the way I was thinking when I came to the United States. Really, a land of opportunity, a land of freedom. A land is a people by the people. A people make their decision. But unfortunately, Kevin, for when a time goes on, and I see that it's not like that. The people in here had no opportunity to talk about what they want, especially how they make the decision for their foreign policy. I think the regular people like me, I'm as a US citizen, we have nothing to say. We have no opportunity to have a right so we can say what is right and what is wrong. Unfortunately, this is what I got the experience. And I would like to, for my children, for the new generation, I would like to tell them they have to stop this. The United States is built by immigrants, by us, people who came from around the world. We would like to have that chance to make our decision for Afghans. So what kind of decision they are making for Afghanistan? Do they talk to anybody except the only few people which is near them at Washington, D.C., or maybe one, which is Mr. Khalilzad? Is that okay? No. I think this is the decision all they made all along for the past 20 years. It was wrong. It was against what the people really wanted. And I'm
In the
sorry, this
period,
is what my experience is.
no, that's the purpose of our discussion is to actually hear local voices and so that your voices are heard more broadly across the United States. Tell me, what was it like being in this country after 9/11? Because you had the horror of what happened in New York, the horror of what happened in Pennsylvania, the horror of what happened in Washington, D.C. And did those who are already in the United States as Afghan Americans, did you experience any particular form of racial animosity or hatred at the time? I'm interested in those historical reflections.
Yes, when 9/11 happened, I never forget those days. That, believe me, they were saying there is attack to the buildings and to the government buildings in Pennsylvania, and we were really very, very scared. And we were so wishing, I hope it's not going to be Afghan. I hope not going to be Afghans. Unfortunately, we found out they were not Afghan. And that's the dilemma. And what happened that we knew it. We knew it was going to happen because it was the time Taliban on the power in Afghanistan, and we knew they're going to do something against the United States. Unfortunately, but I think the CIA didn't know that. Unfortunately, they were the one, they never catch that. And when what 9/11 happened, believe me, as an Afghan residents everywhere, we saw a lot of, uh, how do you say, a lot of um, against us, um, discrimination. We see a lot of discrimination against us. We got in our office, we got telephone calls to telling us, go back, you're terrorists, you guys are Osama bin Laden, you guys don't need to stay here, you killed so many people. And this has made our fear more and more every day. And we couldn't leave our house. We couldn't leave because maybe somebody is gonna, get upset at us. And that was really terrible. And it's still, unfortunately, still that fear still is on our mind, on our children, especially our young children. My son, he has a beard, black beard, he's really look like a Middle Eastern. And unfortunately, sometimes I fear for him. I really fear for him.
I suppose one of the great ironies in this, Rona, is given that your family has come to the United States originally to flee a communist regime, secondly, have been fierce opponents of the Taliban, that thirdly, after September 11, that your family then is on the receiving end of various forms of racial stereotyping. And that is one of the true sadnesses of what we see on a wider canvas across the United States as well. Last question to you, Rona, is this. Are you proud to be an American? Are you proud to be an Afghan American?
I am, yes, I'm proud to be Afghan American, really. I'm proud to be, but I really need to be an advocate for the Afghan community and for the Afghanistan. I really need to let the people of United States know what's really going on and what is really the truth is about Afghanistan. This is what I want. And thank you for this interview. I think you do give, our voice, to other people so they can understand how an Afghan who lives in America feels like.
Well, thank you, Rona Popal. Thank you so much for being with us today. We're grateful for the very hard humanitarian work you're doing to strengthen Afghan families, networks, and also the resources which are necessary on the ground in California. My name's Kevin Rudd. I'm president of the Asia Society. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.